All right, welcome to your personalized deep dive.
Excited to be here.
You're looking to really nail those everyday English conversations.
That's right.
And you sent over a great jumping off point,
Yeah.
a podcast episode all about, well, daily conversations in English for beginners.
Perfect place to start.
So we're going to break it down,
Yep.
explore some insights,
Yeah.
get you comfortable putting these tips into practice.
That's the goal.
We'll cover, well, everything from greetings and introductions to ordering food, even shopping, and asking for directions.
I think you'll be surprised. I mean, a few key phrases, when you deliver them with confidence, it can really open doors, especially in a new language.
It seems so basic, I mean, greetings and introductions, but I'm curious,
Yeah.
is there more to it than just saying hello?
Oh, there definitely is. Like, think about time-specific greetings, like good morning or good evening. That shows you're making an effort, to be culturally sensitive.
Yeah.
Like you're in sync with the natural rhythm of the day.
You're going beyond just hello. You're acknowledging the context.
Exactly. It shows a kind of a deeper level of respect, and attention.
And the podcast, well, it has this sample conversation between two people named Anna and Sam
Right.
meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
Let's hear how they break the ice.
Okay, let's listen.
Hello, my name is Anna.
Hi, Anna. I'm Sam. It's nice to meet you.
Good.
Nice to meet you, too.
Perfect.
It's so short, it's sweet, but it's effective.
It is.
I mean, those few phrases really do establish a connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And from there, you can build on that foundation, right?
Yeah.
And then let the conversation flow naturally.
Now let's move on to something I think we all encounter, ordering food and drinks. I know I've definitely felt intimidated trying to decipher a menu, in a foreign language.
Yeah, for sure. And the podcast has this helpful phrase you can adapt for any situation. Can I have a, and then you just put the food or drink item. Can I have a blank, please? It's simple. It's clear. It gets the job done.
Right.
But is there more than one way to ask for what you want?
Oh, definitely. You could say, could I get a D? Or, I'd like to order.
Okay.
Those are a bit more formal, but perfectly acceptable. And then if you're feeling really confident, you can just go with, I'll take a geek. It's more casual, more direct.
It's good to have options.
Yeah.
So the key is to find what feels natural and comfortable for you.
Exactly.
I'm picturing myself walking into this bustling cafe.
Okay.
The smell of fresh pastries is in the air.
I love it.
I step up to the counter and I confidently order a cappuccino and a croissant using one of these phrases.
There you go.
And my confidence is already growing.
That's the spirit. And remember, even if your pronunciation isn't perfect, people appreciate the effort, right?
Yeah.
It shows that you're trying.
Okay, so we've covered greetings and ordering.
Uh-huh.
What's next on the list of essential English phrases?
All right, let's talk about shopping. The podcast calls this section a survival guide for navigating stores.
Ooh, I like that. A survival guide. What are some of the key phrases?
Well, they really emphasize the importance of how much is this? It's a universal question. Even if you forget everything else, that phrase will get you the information you need.
It's like that trusty tool you always keep in your back pocket.
Exactly.
What other gems can we find in this survival guide?
Another powerful phrase they highlight is, I'm looking for.
Okay.
It's a great way to start a conversation, especially if you have something specific in mind.
It helps the other person understand your needs right away.
Exactly. And then from there, you can narrow down your search.
Yeah.
With colors, size, style, whatever you need.
I can imagine myself, in a clothing store. I walk up to a salesperson and I say, I'm looking for a blue sweater, size medium.
Perfect.
It feels good to be able to articulate what you want.
It does. And, what's really interesting is that these seemingly simple phrases, you can use them in so many different contexts. It's not just limited to shopping.
So I'm looking for could also be used to, I don't know, find information, locate a place, or even connect with a specific person.
Exactly. It's all about adapting these core phrases to different situations, right? And that's the beauty of language. It's flexible. It's adaptable.
That's really encouraging. It feels less like memorizing a bunch of random phrases and more like, I don't know, building a toolbox of communication skills that I can use in various situations.
Yeah. It's a great way to think about it. And then as you get more confident, you'll naturally expand your vocabulary, your grammar, just keep adding more tools to that toolbox.
This is already making me feel so much more prepared for my next trip abroad. It's empowering to know that I can handle these basic interactions in English, even if I'm not fluent yet.
That's fantastic. And remember, fluency comes with time, right? And practice. So the important thing is to start speaking, start using the language.
I'm ready to tackle the next challenge, asking for directions.
Oh, that's a good one. Especially when you're exploring a new place. I mean, it can be daunting to get lost in a foreign country, but knowing how to ask for help can make all the difference.
The podcast really stressed the importance of starting with a polite, "Excuse me, can you help me?"
Right.
It just sets a friendly, respectful tone.
It does, and it shows, that you're approaching the situation with humility, right? With a willingness to learn. And people are generally happy to help, especially when you ask politely.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
What other tips does the podcast offer for asking for directions?
They recommend having key location names written down beforehand, especially if you're not sure about the pronunciation,
Yeah.
This can be super helpful, especially for avoiding misunderstandings.
That's a great tip. I'm definitely going to make a list of important places before my next trip.
It's a simple strategy that can save you a lot of time and frustration. And remember, don't be afraid to use gestures, right?
Yeah.
Or even point to things on a map if you need to.
Visual aids can be a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered greetings, ordering, shopping, asking for directions. What's next on the agenda?
Well, how about we put all these skills together, right?
Okay.
And imagine a full day of interacting in English.
Yeah.
We can explore how these forces flow naturally in real-life scenarios.
That sounds like a great way to see these skills in action.
All right.
I'm ready for a whirlwind tour of a day in the life of an English speaker. Shall we dive in?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So imagine you're waking up in this cozy hotel room.
Okay.
The sun is streaming through the window. You're ready to start your day.
I'm picturing it. What's the first interaction I might encounter?
Well, you might, bumped into another guest in the hallway.
Right.
Or maybe want to greet the hotel staff.
Yeah.
Remember those time-specific greetings we talked about?
Yeah.
This is the perfect chance to use them.
Right. I wouldn't want to accidentally wish someone good evening first thing in the morning.
Exactly. So you step out of your room. You could say something like, "Good morning. How are you today?"
It feels natural, and polite.
Right. And you can adapt it to different situations. Like if you're passing someone quickly, just a simple "good morning" with a smile is perfect.
Okay. Nice. Now I'm feeling energized. I'm ready for breakfast.
All right.
I can smell the coffee brewing in the hotel lobby.
I love it.
What's the best way to order my morning fuel?
This is where that phrase, "can I have," comes in handy. Coffee, tea, juice, pastries, whatever you want.
But what if I want something a little different?
Yeah.
The podcast focused on those basic phrases, but is there a way to, I don't know, ask for recommendations or variations?
Oh, for sure. You could say, "What do you recommend?" Or, "Do you have any specialties?"
Okay. So I could discover a hidden gem on the menu, something I wouldn't have known about otherwise.
Exactly. And it shows the staff that you're open to trying new things,
Right.
engaging with the local culture.
I love that. Okay. So I've fueled up.
Right.
I had my coffee and a delicious breakfast.
Okay.
Now I'm ready for some exploring.
Uh-huh.
I heard there's this fantastic market nearby,
Mm-hmm.
filled with local crafts and unique souvenirs.
Sounds like a perfect place to practice those shopping phrases we talked about.
Yeah.
How much is this? I'm looking for.
Those are my go-tos.
There you go.
But I'm curious, how do you express interest in something without necessarily committing to buying it?
Right. You could say, "This is beautiful. I'm just looking around." Or, "I'm admiring your work."
Okay, so there's a way to appreciate the craftsmanship, engage with the vendors without feeling pressured to buy something.
Exactly. And it can lead to some interesting conversations, maybe some cultural exchanges.
I love those unexpected moments of connection, especially when you're traveling.
Me too. It makes the experience so much richer. Okay, let's fast forward. It's afternoon now.
All right.
You've had a wonderful time exploring the market, soaking up the atmosphere.
Uh-huh.
But now you need to get back to the hotel.
Uh-oh. Sounds like it's time to test out those direction-asking skills.
Exactly.
I remember the podcast saying to start with, "Excuse me, can you help me?"
Perfect. That's a great opening. It shows respect. Sets a good tone for the interaction.
But what if I'm not sure how to pronounce certain landmarks or street names?
Well, that's when those location names written down come in handy.
Right.
You can just show the person what you're looking for, even if you can't say it perfectly.
It's like having a cheat sheet for communication.
That's a great way to think about it.
I'm starting to realize there's so many little strategies you can use to, I don't know, to bridge those language gaps.
Absolutely. It's all about being resourceful, finding ways to make yourself understood. You know, what's fascinating is that those imperfect attempts at communication, sometimes they lead to the most memorable and heartwarming interactions.
I bet. There's something endearing about, seeing someone trying their best to communicate in a new language.
Oh, yeah. It shows a willingness to connect, to learn.
Okay. So I found my way back to the hotel.
Right.
Now I'm feeling a little tired from all the exploring, ready for a relaxing evening.
Okay, great.
What kind of situations might I encounter in this part of my day?
Well, you might want to, make a dinner reservation.
Okay.
Or maybe ask for some recommendations at the hotel concierge.
Uh-huh.
Or even just strike up a conversation with some fellow travelers at the bar.
It's amazing how those simple phrases can be adapted to so many different scenarios.
Yeah. They really are the building blocks of everyday conversation. And then as you get more confident, you can start experimenting, right? With some new vocabulary, some new grammar. Just keep adding more layers to your communication.
I'm feeling inspired to keep learning, to keep practicing. This deep dive has been fantastic. It's a good reminder that language learning is a journey,
It is.
not a destination.
Yeah.
It's all about taking small steps, embracing the moments of imperfection, and enjoying the process of connecting with others.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Welcome back to our deep dive into everyday English conversations. We've covered a lot of ground, from greetings and introductions to ordering, navigating shops, and even asking for directions.
It's been quite the journey. And what's fascinating, it's how these simple phrases can really empower you in so many situations.
Yeah, I'm starting to see how those phrases are like building blocks. You can use them to construct more complex sentences, more complex conversations.
Exactly. And by putting them into practice in our hypothetical day, you've gone beyond just memorization. You've started to internalize the rhythm and the flow of natural English conversation.
It's like, I don't know, learning a new dance. At first, you're focused on the individual steps, but then you start to feel the music and move more fluidly.
That's a great analogy. And as you continue to practice, as you immerse yourself in the language, you'll find those awkward pauses, those moments of self-doubt, they become less and less frequent.
It's encouraging to know that even native English speakers, they stumble over their words sometimes.
Absolutely. Language is a living thing, right? It's constantly evolving. Even the most fluent speakers make mistakes, or they come across words they don't know. The key is to not let those moments discourage you.
It's all part of the learning process. Our source really focused on those essential phrases for beginners. But I'm curious, what are some tips for expanding my vocabulary and my grammar beyond those basics?
Well, reading is a fantastic way to expand your vocabulary. And it also helps you to get a feel for different writing styles. You can start with simple books, simple articles, and then gradually work your way up to more challenging material.
And what about listening? I love podcasts, so I'm always looking for new recommendations.
Podcasts are excellent. They help to improve your listening comprehension, and you get to hear all those different accents and speaking styles.
That's like having a conversation with someone, even if you're just listening.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to watch movies, watch TV shows in English, even if you need subtitles at first.
Yeah.
It's a fun way to learn. It's immersive. And you pick up new words and phrases along the way.
I find I naturally start to understand more and more as I listen and as I watch. It's like my brain is slowly absorbing the patterns of the language.
It is. And remember, language learning, it's a lifelong journey. There's always something new to discover, something new to explore.
I appreciate that reminder. It takes the pressure off. It's not about reaching some level of perfection. It's more about enjoying the process of learning and connecting with others.
Exactly. And here's a final thought for you. Remember that English is spoken all over the world. And each region has its own unique slang, its own accents, its own expressions.
That's so true. It's not about mastering just one standard version of English. It's about appreciating that tapestry of different voices and cultures that make up the English-speaking world.
It's like exploring a vast and diverse landscape.
With endless possibilities. This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. It's given me the tools and the confidence to approach these everyday conversations with a more positive and proactive mindset.
I'm so glad to hear that. And remember, the most important thing is to keep practicing, keep exploring, keep enjoying the journey of learning English.
On that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive. We hope you found it valuable, and we hope you feel empowered to continue your English language adventures.